all of the night car. It's good shit. I'm excited.
Same. I called it non-violent. Hold on, because I can't see. Non-violently brought to you by a black screen to be like a play on when violent niggas toward our community call us black queens. Because that's all they see is as a black screen, and that's why they use words like ball to refer to us. Like it's just a game that they're playing. So yeah, what I talked about today with, do you want to say your name? Never mind. Do you want to make a sound so people know you're next to me? That's good enough. And so we just got finished talking about violence and being and violently and how we oversee the things that we oversee and what does that mean. And so basically we came to the conclusion that what goes around comes around, and sometimes you have to make really big changes. And so we were reminiscent on past generations and how a couple generations ago the violence that was inflicted, where it's like I have to show up in this society so fucking violently that I gotta do fucking crack to match the violence of the conditions that I'm in. The fuck? So that means when I get home and I see my offspring demonstrating something that's not just as or even more violent than me, I'm gonna punch them in their fucking teeth. Do you know you'll get killed for that? Niggas die every day for that shit. And so that teaches that offspring to either one, choose to be a different form of violently. I'm gonna ask you questions. I was talking to my baby daddy today, and they were saying one time, they said yes when their mama asked them would they jump off the bridge just because their friend did. And I think about their ideology today and the way they live their life. That yes was an act of nonviolence and loyalty. And I was saying, like, if my mama asked me some shit like that, and they were saying they were just saying yes jokingly, by the way, but I was saying if my mama asked me some shit like that, best believe, like, if I would have said yes, she would have been like, nigga, can you swim? Nigga, do you have a life jacket? Nigga, can you fish? Nigga, can you breathe on the motherfucking water? It would have been so many hurdles to survival that was so fucking violent because my answer to all the above was no, 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 and absolutely not. And so I'm like, oh, she introduced me to violence in a way that was less violently than the way she was introduced to it, where it's shrink, shut up, or square up, put up. And not that's all the experience was, but as you can imagine, that's the most impactful because it's done to the vessel. And so she chose to be violent to me with mentality. However, she still exercised a violence to the vessel in her own ways, but not towards me. And I remember the one time she did, I remember I got my ass whooped when I was like 10 years old. And to go 10 years without getting your ass whooped, that's a long time for one day a motherfucker just be like, oh, I'm gonna display this kind of violence. And so I remember she wanted me to lay down so she could whip my butt, and I was like, no. I sat on the edge of my bed, and I just put my hands up. I'm like, you can hit my hands. I will not lay on my stomach and get my ass on today. You've gone 10 years without telling me to do that, and you think you're going to come down here and tell me to do that today? Right. Absolutely not. And so she hit my hands like 6 times. I remember I was counting because I refused to cry, and I was trying to see how many times she would hit me before I was forced to cry. But as soon as she left my room, I cried, and I didn't cry because it hurt. Because I was used to that kind of violence. I used to brawl with my brothers. So like I'm used to this violence. I'm not used to it from this person in this way. And so I just cried that like I felt like I pushed her to that. And how did I push her to that? Well, I was in 5th grade and I went to school with makeup on. And then I lied about having makeup on when I came home. And now I know that was her way of saying, boom, nigga, do you know you'll get killed for that? Boom, do you know you'll get violated for that? Because an experience I had at that school, that was an all fucking white school, they had like, shh, shh, you are so loud. You need to shh. Shh. That's mean. Be quiet. You're like,
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be. I'm doing my best.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay. So, boom. I had already been social. And honestly, I appreciate that break in the story because this is like a hard story to tell at this time. And with the daughter, like, I just remember, like, I had a round table meeting with, like, all of these women that worked at my school telling me how distracting my chest was. And I was, like, 10 or 11. And that felt so fucking violent to me. And I had never felt violence like that. And I was thinking, when did my breasts start to become something that could be weaponized against me? And I'm like, oh, I was just a baby. I started my period the year before. I was 9. And then my chest started budding. And so that was a cause of concern in the institution I was in. Because, boom, do you know you get killed for that? Boom. Do you know they'll burn you for that? And then I wore makeup when I wasn't allowed to, and I got home and boom, do you know you'll get killed for that? Boom, do you know they'll burn you for that? And so me learning how to be violent meant that by the time I was in high school, I'm making my own wigs, I'm wearing them, and like, please don't pull up the picture because, oh my God. And then I'm beating my face. I'm dolling my face up with makeup, and I'm so violent in the paradigm with how I'm supposed to present in a way that, boom, do you know you get killed for that? Boom, do you know they'll burn you for that? That I'm calling this act of what otherwise would be self-love something very violent. I'm beating my face. And not only am I beating my face, but I used to beat my face to the gods. Boom, do you know they killed Jesus for that? Boom. Do you know they beat Jesus' motherfucking ass till it was black and blue? Okay, hold on. Not funny, and I promise if you're Christian, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just saying, like, whoa, these things stick around for a while. So ultimately, I'm talking to this black screen because I refuse to be these fuck niggas black queen. And I don't even want to be a queen, actually. Boom. I'm not trying to get killed for that. Boom. I'm not trying to get burned for that. I just want to exist where I don't have to be violent at. And when I'm around these queer people, when I'm around niggas that are queer, I'm around people who have decided any means necessary, we will not be violent right here. So that means if they gotta go up the street and pick a fight, they will. But as for right here, as for with each other, among each other, we will not be violent. But love means that when you start to demonstrate violence toward me, I have to reciprocate. Because sometimes you make small changes, and then sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. And what goes around comes around. F the snooze button is about having these black screen rants while my partner's sleeping next to me. But when they wake up, they're not going to hit snooze because they already listened to this before I published it to you, because they are not violent to me. Even when shit is rocky, and even when I'm like, this feels like violence, but this is your autonomy. Okay, that's not really violent to me. If we have transparency in our autonomy, this is not violent to me. Boom. Do you know you'll get killed for that? Boom. Do you know they'll burn you for that? So, yeah, I'm a black screen. Don't call me Black Queen. Because being who I am is just good enough for me. Like, don't assign me no titles that you think would assign me honor and worth. I assume I already have it. Even if you think you're gonna kill me for that. Or even if you think you're gonna burn me for that. I don't know how long this rant is. So ultimately, I be seeing the class dynamic in this, and that means that, like, in institutions, sometimes you have to show up violently. And then they reciprocate it, because what goes around comes around. And then you have to take a big leap, whatever that even means. I couldn't tell you. You would have to show me. So ultimately, we can choose to be nonviolent right here tonight, and you can sleep soundly next to me, and I'll post this on F the Snooze button, and when we wake up, we will not hit snooze. And thank you for listening to me before I ever had the courage to tell my truth on a platform with a black screen, rejecting the binary of honor only if I'm a black queen in a fucking patriarchy. Like, be so fucking for real right now. So ultimately, good night. And thank you for letting me talk you to sleep. Oh yeah. Choose a place, a time, and a group of people to not be violent. F the Snooze button. My name is Lynn. Okay. Right now is the time that I should tell you that I write books and I have a Holy Trinity. The Mother is Eternity is right now. The daughter, which my daughter is sleep talking as I speak, is called Ass Out. And the baddest bitch is Gang Shit Only. And Gang of Poems too lazy to publish themselves, but also I have a shadow workbook. It's called Just a Theory, Not a Threat. And all of them are linked on my Etsy account, which if it's not linked in the description just yet, it's in my Instagram bio at Cheesy. Because I be cheesing. Like and subscribe. It's really a bad time.